If you know and love Greek moussaka, the delicious layered eggplant casserole, I can't wait to introduce you to its Egyptian cousin, my moussaka that I grew up with. It's absolutely delicious. Egyptian moussaka has similar vibes to Greek moussaka, but this is the one I grew up with and I'm so excited to show you guys. So earlier I salted my eggplant slices because I still believe that salting them gives them better flavor. Right now they have been sitting in the salt so they sweat out any bitterness. I like to use smaller eggplant whenever possible because actually the smaller eggplant, they don't have as much seeds, and the seeds are what gives eggplant that bitter taste. And it also helps the texture of the eggplant so it's nice and velvety and tender. So optional step, but I highly recommend you salt your eggplant, you set it aside for a few minutes while you do other things. I'm going to go ahead and brush him with a little bit of olive oil. Egyptian moussaka is easier than Greek moussaka and it skips the bechamel sauce. We don't do bechamel on Egyptian moussaka, but it's still just as comforting. We're gonna go ahead, stick these in the oven for about 20 minutes while we work on the meat sauce. For the meat sauce, we need a nice large pan and a little bit of extra virgin olive oil at the bottom. As I was saying, Egyptian moussaka is a tad lighter than Greek moussaka, and that's because we skip the bechamel sauce, but we do have our meat sauce with the tomatoes, garlic, onion, and it's so delicious. And we have a few different flavor makers that are not in the Greek meat sauce. I'm gonna reach for some sweet paprika, Aleppo pepper or red pepper flakes are fine, and a little bit of coriander. Oil is looking good. We're going to go ahead and add our onion. And then we have a couple bell peppers, green bell peppers. And we're gonna cook this party down. I'm gonna add some garlic as well. And then we're going in with a nice big pinch of kosher salt. We're gonna allow the veggies to cook for a good 5 minutes or so to soften, just to soften. All right, this is starting to look nice and soft. We're going to add 1 pound of lean ground beef. Boom. We actually have different versions of moussaka in Egypt. Sometimes we make it entirely vegan. I have that recipe in my cookbook, the Mediterranean dish cookbook. But this one is the meat version. And it's absolutely delicious. So once you break up the meat, you want to brown it entirely, so it might take about 10 minutes or so. Good things are happening, the meat is starting to brown, and then we'll go ahead and drain any excess liquid. All right, so we're seasoning. Another pinch of kosher salt for the meat. We have not salted the meat. And a pinch of black pepper. And then our seasonings that we are using, we're going for some coriander, sweet paprika, and you can find these spices on our site, themediterraneandish.com. Just hit the shop tab when you get there. And then red pepper flakes or Aleppo pepper. I'm gonna use Aleppo pepper. It's less spicy and it has a little bit of sweetness to it. I really enjoy it, so we're going for Aleppo pepper. So we're gonna toss this party around. Oh yeah. Smells so good. We're almost there. Now we're gonna go in with a whole can of San Marzano tomatoes, which are nice and sweet, with their juices, of course. And we're gonna break them up. And then whenever I have a can of tomatoes, there's always some around the edges. I add a little water, swish it around, and then add that in. And really, that's about all there is to this. So we're gonna let this party kind of bubble for a minute, allow it to simmer together. Let's see what our eggplant situation looks like. I think we are in business. So we've got our eggplant, we've got the sauce. We're gonna assemble this whole party in this one baking dish. My eggplant is not fully cooked through, but it is nice and soft. So that's all I wanted. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and layer. I'm gonna start with some of the sauce on the bottom. This delicious chunky sauce. Kids gonna like it. Oh yeah. Yeah, so Kate, my friend right there, if you'd like to show, is one of the people who are not able to have anything with gluten in it. So I'm just excited that she can try my moussaka. Go Kate, go Kate, it's your birthday. All right, then we're gonna go ahead and layer some of this eggplant. I want the bigger ones first. Really, at this point, they can overlap because the eggplant's pretty soft, so it's gonna cook just fine. A little bit of the sauce. This is one of those traditional meals, and actually people used to fry the eggplant and all that, but nowadays we've gone lighter and we bake our eggplant a little bit instead. So this whole thing is going in the oven. I mean, there are several moussaka versions, and I'm sure someone watching this is gonna say that's not how their teta, their grandma, makes it. And I would probably agree because every grandma in Egypt has her own secrets. But the flavors are close, and this is kind of the one that I grew up with, and I love it. And then we have a few finishing touches, so don't go anywhere because this is just so good. Since the eggplant is mostly done, and obviously the tomato sauce with the meat is also done, this is not going to take very long in the oven. So we're going to start with like 20 minutes at 400 and we'll go from there. All right, let's take a look. Ooh, that's looking great. Now at this point, I'm going to stick it under the broiler for a little bit to gain some color. Oh yeah, this looks great. It's perfect. I love the char on the top, and the eggplant looks velvety tender. We are ready to dig in. For me personally, I like to serve it in bowls because that way you can get more of the sauce, maybe a little bit of your favorite bread to go with it. Delicious comfort food, Egyptian style, and it's perfect when eggplant is in season. I toasted some pine nuts in a little olive oil earlier, and I think they add a really nice nutty flavor and texture to this little dish. My mama would be so proud at the moment. This is kind of hot. Tastes like home. Delicious. You can taste just the subtle flavors we added earlier, the paprika, the coriander. It all plays into the sauce, and it's so delicious. Of course, make sure you check out my other moussaka recipe, the Greek style moussaka, right here on the channel. Grab the recipe for Egyptian moussaka over on themediterraneandish.com. I will see you later. Ciao.